Hey everybody, I'm Junk Chimera and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is kind of an idea I just came up with when I discovered this really cool stuff you can find in kaleidoscopes. The reason what you probably might be asking why I know that. Well, my nephew got one as a random gift from someone and he decided to destroy it. Well, then I found this among the broken parts and thought it would be awesome to make something out of. It's like a paper, but it's pretty much a mirror, as you can see. Anyway, basically, we're going to be making some mirrors today. And with this stuff right here, we can make some really nice mirrors with very little effort. And now the idea that I got for this one in particular, from, I think it was Snow White and the Huntsman, I could be wrong, the whole golden mirror that becomes the blobby kind of hooded man thing, that's where I got the idea for this. So, hopefully you guys can find this useful. You don't have to do exactly like I do in the video because this is more of just a kind of a showcase, something really cool you can find. Not exactly a tutorial. But you don't see many things about mirrors for D&D. So, I thought, let's make a video! So, without further ado, let's roll! Alright, now we're going to start off with the things that I use to make this little mirror. Alright, going to use the hot glue and some hot glue guns. I know I showed white glue here, but just ignore that and just go straight to super glue. You'll see why later. Going to need a base. I use this old cheap poker chip that I had laying around. Good size, pretty sturdy. This right here came from a bag of beads I got at Walmart for 98 cents, little necklace set. I finally found a use for this one. It's going to look pretty cool once we get it done. Plus it's a pretty big old chunk of plastic too. Alright, and of course a sheet of the shiny paper that I showed you earlier. Hello, camera! Alright. And some cardstock or foam, whatever you prefer. This is going to be the banding for the other side, where the mirror is actually visible. Some scissors, of course, or whatever cutting tools you prefer. And a pencil, or something else to write with. And let's get started. Of course, you're going to want to take your piece and lay it down on the cardstock or foam. Trace it out. You're going to use some boots of speed. Speed is long. Then trace around on the inside to make the inner lining of the banding. There you go. Don't worry if it's not clean. Don't worry if it's not perfect. It'll be just fine in the end. Of course, cut that out. Trim it up just a little bit, but don't worry too much. Like I said, it'll look good in the end. All right. I had to break out my little scalpel thing, whatever you call these things, to get the inside because I'm just a I take the long way to do things, of course. Alright, I'm gonna have to keep going a little bit. Gets a little stiffer. I'm not applying enough pressure because I'll have to go back over it right here in a second. Yep. See, right there. Yep, gotta go back over that. Little slices. Also, be very careful. These things are sharp as heck. Which, if you've been crafting for a while, you definitely know this. Alright, and don't worry about the tear. That'll be fixed later. Alright, here's where I said just skip straight to the super glue, because as you can see, even though it's glued to it, as I start cutting it, it's going to start sliding off. White glue just doesn't want to stick to that shiny surface. I had it sitting there for about an hour, but it's easily fixed with the super glue because it'll just tack it in place and then the hot glue will hold it in once we get to that step. Gonna dry fit that, see if it's holding up. Alright, looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna break out the super glue here and glue on the banding of the frame on the other side. Quick ring of that. Plop it on there. Give it a little squeeze. Careful not to put too much, you will glue yourself to this. Obviously. Hello again, camera. Looking pretty good so far. Alright, now we're going to break out some hot glue. Oh, make sure to put the lid back. Don't want to glue yourself to the table, because I do that quite often. I have no idea why. Alrighty. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna bust out the hot glue and we're gonna make this thing almost complete. After this we can start painting. Right, do a bead around the edge of it to make sure all the pieces are glued and held in place. Also hides where it's all glued together. Careful, don't glue yourself to it. Make sure you got it all in place. Now put a little blob of glue on the base, or whatever you've chosen to use as the base for this. Alright, make sure it's level. Now start adding some hot glue around the base and pulling it with the hot metal nozzle. If you got the hot tip glue guns, then this will work really well. It'll also give you some real nice detail. We're gonna bring it in for a quick look. It gives it like a kind of a sludgy kind of thing. The idea is that it's supposed to look like, once we have it painted, it's supposed to look like it's growing out of it. I'm going to add more hot glue to finish the base, and we will come back when we're ready to paint. Alright, now we're going to do a simple step here. We're going to take some normal black craft paint, and we are going to black bomb it. Give it all one even color. Use more boots of speed. Nice even coating. Or just sporadic, however you choose to paint. Careful not to get it on the actual reflective part. Unless you actually want like a real dirty, grungy mirror, then hey, then go for it. Go nuts. Little dabs here and there. Make sure I get all the little nooks and crannies. Alright. Gonna lightly set it down and... oh, nope. It's making a run for it. Well, there we go. Come back here. Need you for the video. Little dab here. And moving on to the fancy stuff after that dries. Now for this next step, I tried to use 2 different golds because I wanted to make the little people that were on the pendant a lighter gold than the rest of it, as you can see right there. A little hard to see with the camera. I tried to use this. I can't quite remember what type of gold that was. Is INCA gold, Inca gold, or something. Anyway, it was a lighter gold. I thought it looked nice. I was trying to go for one thing, but you'll see later. Once I get all of it painted, and I just did some dry brushing here, but once I got it all painted and it dried, it all became the same color, which was a bit of a bummer, but it still looked really good in the end. Gotta try zooming in here to get a better look. There we go. Not so bad. Zooming on out. Alright, then we're gonna move on to the darker gold and try to fancy this up. Really couldn't see that one. But yeah, just a little more, more dry brushing on it. Once again, careful not to get it on the reflective part. Very thankful for boots of speed, or otherwise this would be painstakingly long. A little more dabs here and there around the base. Make sure to get the edging. I was hoping to try to make this look like it was just rising out of a pool of melted gold, like I said at the beginning. But I think it works pretty well. Also, it kind of looks like something that some big gaudy thing that some nobleman just poured money from his butt to have made just because he could. Hello again, camera. I'm quite happy with it. Alright. Now, let's sit there and move on to some stills of it. Here it is next to a Farmer Mini for scale, and it's to show that it still reflects pretty well. Alrighty folks, there's a little way on how you can make some really cool mirrors for your D&D or your Wargaming or whatever it is you do. If you have any questions or you just want to make your voice heard, leave it down below in the comments. If you guys are from the Tabletop Crafters Guild, then definitely leave your thoughts down below because it's always awesome to hear from you guys. If you like if you like to see more that I've done, check me out on DeviantArt, Twitter, and Instagram. That's way too much social media. But hey, it's whatever. I hope to see y'all in the next video, and as always, have fun!